got a 19-page inventory. I've not only added to it with existing stuff, just decided to put it in the list, a few more things, and then once in a while I recategorize and I re-describe it. So if there's ever a question, because it got so out of hand, I gotta have that. I just gotta have it.
Yeah.
Or else I'm absolutely nowhere. Now, you are in the lobby that was renovated yesterday, so don't trip, because I have to figure out what I got some ideas here. You're now in the mini lobby. Now,
Oh, man.
about anything.
Wow.
Now, this is very important. We were supposed to have the Slovakian women's volleyball team come today.
Oh, yeah?
And I told them, sorry, I checked the will call window. Pip Aioli's going to be here today. So, maybe some other time. If you can find your inner Ali, you find your inner greatness. So, for instance, sir, let me suggest, if you stand right here and you simply look into the mirror at yourself, tell me, have you found your inner Ali? Do you see the Ali within you?
Oh, yes, I do. I do see the inner
Unbelievable.
I'm the greatest.
Huh? Yes, we know we wish he didn't do the gorilla thing, because the gorilla thing, frankly, could mean more to African Americans. But I want to tell you something. Fraser did come in that way. It looked that way. And, he called Foreman the mummy. He called Patterson the rabbit. Chavala was the washerwoman. Even Inoki was the pelican. Terrell was the octopus. Sphinx was the vampire.
Sphinx was the vampire? Wow, I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah, the way his teeth were. That's
Oh, yeah.
That's right up your line.
I hadn't heard that one. I like that. Yeah, the washerwoman.
I was in college when Ali was going to fight Zora Fali on March 22nd, 1967. My father was an easy mark. If I wanted a shirt, if I said something, he might buy me 6. So he's usually easy. I went to school in Massachusetts. I said to my father, this is it, my guy, Madison Square Garden, he's fighting Zora Fali. I thought this would be easy. My father said, because of when that is, you're going to be at college, you're coming back for vacation, you're going back, you have independent study, you're going back, and then New York is the other way. If you wait, I promise that Ali is going to fight in Madison Square Garden again, and you will see him. Live. I don't know why my father would say that, but it was good enough for me. Well, after that fight, Ali doesn't fight for 42 months, 3.5 years. My father dies on February 18th, 1970, 2 days after Ellis Fraser. Well, this is never going to happen. More months and more months. Ali comes back, fights Jerry Quarry, 3 rounds, boom, Atlanta. Fantastic. He doesn't start with a 15 guy. Quarry's like, what, 3, 4, 5? No problem. Does he wait 6 months? No. He just waits till December, October, December. Bonavina, Ringo Bonavina gave Fraser 2 very good fights. Ali had a little tough time, finally got loose, knocked him out with those left hooks in the last round. All right, that takes care of that. Now what happens? That's December. He's going to fight Fraser in March. Oh, how can you be ready? He'll fight him in March. When the tickets came out, well, you'll see on some documentaries about Ali that it was considered the hardest ticket in America, the toughest ticket in America. Somebody said that, like Jerry Eisenberg. How are you going to get tickets? Well, for really bad tickets, but they're there, $20. We put a guy on a train with $200 cash. Go to New York, bring back 10 tickets. Toughest ticket in America? We had 10, no problem. So as I sat there in the row next to the last, with all this stuff and all the stars and everything that went on, I just thought of my father's promise that I would be there. And that was pretty heavy duty.
Nice.
Obviously, I got some years on you, but do you know the poem If by Rudyard Kipling? Have you ever heard of it?
No, I don't think so.
Growing up, my father's favorite poem, my father died in 1970, was If. And it basically says if you can keep your head when everybody else is an idiot, and if you get knocked down, you get up. It's a big-time poem. This isn't, it's other places on the web, it's much easier to see, but years ago I got this thing. So it became my favorite poem. Now we go back maybe, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, and I read somewhere that it's Ali's favorite poem. That's not possible. So Felix and Jerry from Waterbury and myself, we go to the party for his 70th birthday, and we're the first people in that day. The party is late that night. We're dressed, casual during the day. I've never even seen my tile. I've never been there before. And, we signed. Lennox is actually on the same page for that night, but as part of it, we get to go in anyway. For what that's worth. We're the first people. So we go up to the 5th floor. There's an orientation movie. And just after it starts, like a 15-minute orientation movie, you hear a deep voice, like James Earl Jones. I'm not saying it is, but just picture the thing. If you could hold your head up, and they end up doing the poem, and I'm like, I can't talk right now. I'm done, because I'm like, this is like unbelievable. Right. How is that possible? I did a talk recently, and I did a quiz first and gave out some Ali postcards, and I said one of the questions was, in what year did Ali win the heavyweight championship in the Olympics? Do you know, by the way?
60?
No, he never won it.
Oh.
It's a light heavyweight.
Oh, that's right.
A trick question.
Trick, yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll show you how fast his jab is. It's about as fast as mine. I'm going to throw it now. You want to see it again? Oh, okay, your camera's not fast enough. I understand. My father went to the Doug Jones fight, and by the way, Ali predicted no fix Jones in 6. Then he changed it later to something like no more Jones in 4. And he was questioned on that. You missed the prediction. It went 10, right? Now, meanwhile, my father was at the fight, and a lot of people talked about Jones winning. It's close, and we know how it's tough with fights to score it. My father said, Rick, I was there. A lot of those punches of Jones's that might have looked like they hit Ali, they just missed. Now, Ali was asked afterwards, well, you missed your prediction. He says, I missed my prediction? I predicted 6, then I predicted 4. 6 and 4 was what? 10. It went 10. Angelo told him to say that. Ali was asked to predict a round. He predicted, of course, 8 for the first. It's not his fault that it ended in 7. He beat Archie Moore in 4. When they queried him on the Cooper bout, he answered with Shakespearean thrift. They asked him what round he'd knock Henry out. He said, Henry, the 5th. Now, the thing that happens in the 5th round, Ali can't see. No, he really couldn't see. He was really hurting. Really hurting. Was it just Vaseline? Was it something called Nucla that a guy named Al Couture told me about? Who's Al Couture? Knocked out a guy in 10.5 seconds with the count. Another matter, okay. So what was it? Was it this Moncel solution? What was it? Well, it turns out that there have been reports that at least 2 other people that Liston fought had the same problem with their eyes. So you maybe hit Ali's forehead, the stuff drips down, or you get him in the clinch. Ali really wanted to cut the gloves off. Angelo didn't let him. Angelo put the stuff in his eye. They rinsed and rinsed and rinsed and said, run. Did you ever think about that? Okay, he loses to Kenny Norton. Now, as Angelo told me, because you don't see this in the press that often, yes, it's findable. I don't want to be a big shot. Ali supposedly hurt an ankle out on, I believe, on the golf course. And then, of course, he gets the broken jaw. Well, teaches him a lesson. Don't have your mouth open. Question when that was. I'd have to recheck. I think it was like the 2nd round. He got through it, and he still did very well. All 3 Norton fights were close. Absolutely, positively. I was at the 3rd, as a matter of fact. There's just certain guys that are a nemesis for somebody else. Look, Hearns was great. Barkley as great as Hearns? No, but Barkley beat him twice. There's some funky things. In the end, Ali beat Norton 2 out of 3. All questionable. He lost to Frazier the first time. After that long layoff and short things with Corey Bonavina, and you see what Frazier looked like after that fight? Then he beat Frazier twice more. All right. Who else did he lose to? He got that weird thing with Spinks.
Leon.
Ali wasn't training well.
Yeah.
And that was a lot later than he beat Spinks. You got to do Holmes first. Now,
Holmes, right.
What I used to do is I used to train when Ali would fight. I've never been in particularly good shape. Don't get me wrong. But I would lose weight. Sometimes I'd do sit-ups. Sometimes I would jog. I haven't done that in years. Even run backwards. I would do things. When Ali fought Holmes, I did some stuff too. Ali looked great. But as I explained in my book, Ali and me through the ropes, come to me, that it was like a mirage. Don't forget that fight was in the desert. Why? Because he had one doctor that wasn't the greatest doctor in the world. He had Ali take, or allowed Ali to take, whatever it is. Ali took a lot of extra thyroid pills to pick up his metabolism. He sweated out the weight. Now here's a weird thing. I used to take thyroid pills. I had to. I had an underactive thyroid. And once in a while, here's my whole drug abuse. It wasn't much. I'd pop some extras because I thought I'd lose a little weight. That's just a hell of a coincidence. So when Ali came into that fight, he looked good, but he was a shell. He wasn't going to beat Holmes. And by the way, Holmes was a great fighter anyway. And for the Berbick fight, I mean, Ali was, you know, he didn't do a lot for that fight. Let's face it, and it was near the end. You know, after the Shavers fight, that's one of the times you could have said enough was enough. And the weird thing with the Berbick fight is, he wins a couple more rounds, he's got the fight. But then he would have got like maybe beat up by somebody like Mike Weaver.
Yeah.
Somebody. Answer that question?
Definitely.
Okay. Because I'm going a mile a minute.
Rick Kaletsky, thank you so much.
Thank you.